Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Bill.
This episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy is brought to you by this scene from NCIS.
Friend said she came down to drink mojitos and catch some sun. Well, it looks like something caught her.
Although those shows are fun to watch, they aren't real forensic science. Before we get into all of that, what truly is forensics?
Gee, I don't know, Chief.
What do you think forensics is?
I think forensics is about like dead bodies and learning about like crime scenes and stuff like that, and just trying to like solve crimes. It's really all I know.
We don't know, bro.
You don't know?
No, we don't know.
Like no clue?
No.
Law, like the TV shows, CSI, crimes, and yeah.
Really? See what these shows do to forensics? They've got it all wrong. Forensics isn't as dark and quick or mysterious as those other shows make it to be.
Forensics is a science that is a lot like a game. It involves finding clues and piecing together a puzzle and solving the mystery at a crime scene.
A criminalist is a person who makes forensics happen. It's a broad term that includes several jobs in forensics. They examine physical evidence that links to the scene, victim, or criminal.
Forensics like in the real world.
These are the 7 crime scene rules. First one, you must secure the scene. Block off anyone who might not need to be there, might steal something.
The second rule is to separate the witnesses. Why do we do this? It's so that the witnesses can't talk to each other, confuse each other, or come up with a story together. You separate them so that they each have their own unique version of what happened, and you can take the consensus or the biggest part of what they said into account.
3, you must scan the scene. Make sure nothing's abnormal or missing.
The fourth one is to see that photos are taken. It's important that you take photos and document everything in that scene, because even the tiniest detail could be very, very important. And it's also important to make sure that you take those pictures in view of other pieces that are around it, so that you can see how they may be related to one another.
5, you must sketch the scene. Everyone must know how the scene looked like, especially if you're working on that project.
And 6, POW. You search for evidence. So you go over the scene meticulously. You check each and every nook and cranny so that you can see that you're not missing anything that might be vital to the investigation.
7, you must secure the evidence. Make sure no one steals anything, and if there's blood, keep it in a vial. Make sure no one messes with it. And these are the 7 S's.
Damn.
When people think of evidence, they usually think of fingerprints. Did you know that every fingerprint is different, and then there's 1,000 other types? Even identical twins have different prints, like me and him.
Loop fingerprints look like this. They go in one side and then come out the other.
This is a whirl. What a whirl does is it comes from the edge all the way, making a circle, a spiral, all the way into the middle. Yeah.
Goes in one side and leaves the other.
We interrupt this video for a short commercial.
Pretty cool, right?
Hey, dog.
Oh,
Cash, dog.
Nah, bro.
Nah, dog, we're giving you cash, dog.
Nah, bro.
Hey, dog. We're giving you cash, dog. $20.
Sir, what did the murderer look like?
He was really short.
He had like long hair and like he had a full grown beard.
Yeah.
He had a full grown beard. Like it was like all the way to like down to his neck. It was really long. Also he had green eyes.
I have a weapon.
He did. He had a knife. He had a knife, but it was
Sir, you realize that's the murderer right there, right? The
Oh my
reason.
God.
Hold on. The reason you didn't know it was him is because your attention was focused on this, so you didn't know what the actual assailant looked like.
yeah, and then I got away with it.
Eyewitness testimony can be affected by the presence of a weapon, stratosphere, and time passed between the crime and the witness interview.
Individual evidence. What is it? Well, it's evidence that can classify to a single person. That means is, if you look at this, you see someone's fingerprint. Since each person has their own fingerprint, if you find out at a crime scene, they were at the crime scene. Same goes for DNA. If you find their DNA at a crime scene, it puts them at the crime scene.
This footprint is class evidence. We can narrow down the suspect by their shoe size and their type of shoe.
Circumstantial evidence, although not concrete, some cases revolve around circumstantial evidence. It could be someone buying something that was used at a crime scene.
Today on Bill Nye, we covered what is forensics,
What is a criminalist?
Reset.
CSI versus real life.
the 7 S's of criminal investigation,
Types of prints.
Twins' fingerprints.
types of evidence.
And the problem with eyewitness testimony.
Okay, that's it for Bill Nye the Science Guy. We'll see you next week. We out! Well, those shows are... I can't keep going.
1.
80s! Forensics is a science that is a lot like a game.
It is. 2, 1.
Eyewitnesses' testimony can be affected by the presence of a weapon, stratosphere. Eyewitnesses' testimony can be affected by the presence of a weapon, stratosphere, and the time.
Identical twins have the same thing, like me and him. Wait, you read it wrong.
Okay, go again, go again.
Oh, I ruined it.
Ready, set, go.
Even identical twins have different things.
What do y'all think forensics is?
I think forensic
Oh my god.
is a really cool type of science.